Welcome to Calm Story Time, a place where the hours speak, the shadows remember, and the echoes of lost words drift through the day and night. Tonight, we invite you to walk through the hours, from the soft whispers before the dawn to the last goodbye at midnight. Each moment holds a story, each hour a memory, each echo a word that was never said. From the bell that rings for those we lost, to the well that holds faces we can never forget, these tales remind us that even though time moves forward, some moments linger, like whispers in the wind, like shadows on the ground, like a voice calling out from the silence. So close your eyes, take a deep breath, and let the night carry you through the hours. For in this world of lost words and lingering echoes, even the quietest voices can still be heard. Before the dawn, in the village where the streets are dark and the world is still asleep, there is a moment before the dawn, a moment when the night is neither here nor gone. It is during this time that the collector of dreams walks through the streets, gathering the last dreams of those who are about to wake up. Celine, a young girl with tangled hair and wide, sleepy eyes, stands at her window, watching the street below. She can't sleep, not since her brother Leo disappeared 1 year ago. The street is empty, the wind silent. But then she sees him, a tall, shadowy figure carrying a net made of silver threads. In the net, tiny glowing orbs float like fireflies, each one pulsing softly with light. Celine presses her forehead against the cold glass, her breath fogging the window. "Who are you?" she whispers. The figure looks up, his eyes meeting hers. "I am the collector of dreams," he says, his voice soft and distant. Celine's heart pounds as she steps outside, the cold air biting through her nightgown. "What do you collect?" she asks, her voice trembling. The collector lifts the net, the orbs swirling and glowing like tiny stars. "The last dreams of those who are about to wake up," he says. "Dreams that will be forgotten when the morning light touches them." Celine's eyes fill with tears as she steps closer. "My brother," she whispers. "Did you collect his last dream?" The collector's expression softens. "Leo?" he asks, his voice growing gentle. "Yes, I did." Celine sobs, her knees sinking into the cold, damp ground. "Can I see it?" she begs. "Please, just once." The collector hesitates, his eyes darkening. "Dreams are not meant to be seen by the waking," he says. But he reaches into the net, pulling out a single glowing orb. It pulses softly, its light warm and golden. This was his last dream, the collector says, holding it out to her. Celine takes the orb, its warmth seeping into her skin. Inside, she sees Leo standing on a hill, the sun rising behind him, his eyes bright and full of life. "I was waiting for you," he says, his smile gentle. "I knew you'd come." Celine's tears fall, the orb slipping from her hands, its light fading as the first rays of dawn touch the sky. "No," she cries, reaching for it, but the orb dissolves like mist in the wind. The collector lowers his head, his net now empty. "The dawn has come," he says, "and dreams must return to sleep." Celine falls to the ground, her sobs echoing through the empty street. The collector walks away, his figure fading into the light, his net trailing behind him like a comet's tail. And as the sun rises and the village wakes, Celine knows that even though dreams are forgotten, they never truly disappear. For in that moment before the dawn, they still linger, like whispers in the wind waiting to be found. Midnight's whisper. In the village, where the streets are silent and the night is deep, there is a moment at midnight when time stands still. It is during this moment that whispers drift through the air, the last words of those who never got to say goodbye. Oliver stands in the center of the square, his eyes closed, his hands trembling. It has been a year since his mother Iris passed away suddenly in her sleep. She never got to say goodbye. The clock tower strikes 12, each chime echoing through the empty streets. Dong, dong, dong. Oliver opens his eyes, his breath fogging the cold night air. The world is silent, the wind still, the air heavy. And then a single, soft whisper drifts through the air. A whisper carried by the wind. "Oliver," the voice says, warm and close. "I'm here." Oliver's heart pounds, his eyes scanning the empty square. "Mom," he whispers, his voice breaking. "Is that you?" The wind howls, the night growing colder, the air growing thicker. Whispers drift by like falling leaves. "I'm sorry. I miss you. I never got to say." Oliver falls to his knees, his hands clutching the cobblestones, his tears falling freely. "Mom," he cries, his voice echoing through the empty square. "I didn't say goodbye." The wind calms, the whispers fading, the night growing still. And then a single, soft voice drifts by, a voice Oliver knows all too well. "Oliver," the voice says, warm and close, "I never left." Oliver sobs, his hands pressing against his chest, his heart aching. The clock tower chimes one last time, the sound heavy and deep, the echo reverberating through the air. Dun. The wind dies down, the air grows calm, the night falls silent. Oliver opens his eyes, the square empty, the whispers gone, the world moving forward as if nothing had happened. But as he stands up, his legs trembling, his tears drying, he knows that even though some goodbyes were never said, their echoes still linger in the silence of midnight, in the hush of the wind, in the whispers that drift through the night like falling stars.
The night holds its breath. The wind whispers low. Words left unspoken drift like stars in the snow. Rest now, dreamer, let the midnight sing you through. whispers never end, they just wait to be found. Winter was a mine, secrets just the sky. I don't have to listen, and the deck no eye. Rest now, dreamer, let the midnight sing you through. For some whispers never end, they just wait to be found. Rest now, dreamer, let the midnight sing you through. For some whispers never end, they just wait to be found.
The Afternoon Song. In the village, where the afternoon sun casts long shadows and the wind whispers through the trees, there is a house on the hill. From the windows of that house, a soft, haunting song drifts through the air, a song that only a few can hear. Every afternoon, at exactly 3 o'clock, the song begins. Some say it's the voice of a boy who disappeared on a summer day, his laughter echoing through the fields. Emery stands at the bottom of the hill, her eyes fixed on the house. It has been 2 years since her brother Jude vanished without a trace. The last thing she remembers is the song he sang, the same one she now hears every afternoon. The wind blows softly, carrying the song down the hill. Emery closes her eyes, her breath catching in her throat. "It's him," she whispers. "I know it's him." The song drifts through the air, a gentle lullaby, the words fading in and out like the rustle of leaves. Emery takes a step forward, her heart pounding. She climbs the hill, her feet slipping on the overgrown grass, her eyes fixed on the house. The song grows louder, the voice clearer. Emery reaches the top, her breath ragged, her eyes wide. The house stands silent, its windows dark, its door slightly ajar. Emery steps inside, the floorboards creaking beneath her feet. "Jude," she calls, her voice echoing through the empty rooms. The song drifts through the air, growing softer, fainter. Emery follows the sound, her hands trembling as she steps into the living room. There in the corner stands an old dusty gramophone. The record spins slowly, the needle scratching against the surface. The song plays on, the boy's voice echoing through the room. Emery falls to her knees, her hands clutching the edge of the table. "It's you," she whispers, her tears falling onto the wooden floor. "It's really you." The song drifts through the room, each note heavy with memory, each word a ghost of what was lost. Emery closes her eyes, her heart aching, her tears slipping down her cheeks. And as the record spins and the song fades, she knows that even though some voices go silent, they still linger. In the afternoon wind, in the rustle of leaves, in the echo of a song that was never truly forgotten.
The song drifts softly, the house sings along. Whispers of lost voices echo through the song. Close your eyes, dreamer, let the afternoon carry you through. For some songs never end, they just wait to be found.
The clock at noon. In the center of the village, where the sun hangs high and the air is thick with heat, there is a clock tower. The clock is old, its hands rusted, its face worn, but every day at exactly noon it ticks backward. Just for 1 minute. Leora stands at the base of the tower, her eyes fixed on the clock face. It has been 6 months since her brother Elias left for the city and never came back. They argued the last time they spoke, and those words still echo in her mind. The village square is empty, the air heavy and still. The clock strikes 12, its chimes echoing through the air. Leora takes a deep breath, her heart pounding. "Show me," she whispers. "Show me what I lost." The clock hands begin to move backward, the minute hand ticking in reverse, each second slipping away like falling sand. Leora closes her eyes, and suddenly she is standing in her kitchen, the sun pouring through the window, the scent of coffee and fresh bread in the air. Helios is there, leaning against the counter, his arms crossed, his jaw clenched. "You never listen to me," he shouts, his eyes blazing. "And you never stop running away," Leora shouts back, her hands shaking. Elias turns away, his shoulders tense, his fists clenched. "I'm leaving," he says, his voice tight. "I can't stay here anymore." Leora's heart aches as she watches herself stand there, her arms crossed, her eyes cold. "Fine," she says, her tone sharp. "Go, see if I care." Elias storms out, the door slamming behind him, the echo reverberating through the room like a final goodbye. The scene fades, the clock's chimes growing softer, the air growing colder. Leora opens her eyes, the square empty, the clock hands moving forward again, the minute lost. She falls to her knees, her tears falling onto the cobblestones. Her breath ragged. "I didn't say I was sorry," she whispers. "I never said goodbye." The wind blows softly, the sun hanging heavy in the sky, the world moving forward as if nothing had happened. Leora presses her hand to her chest, her heart heavy, her breath shaky. And as the clock strikes 12 again, she knows that even though time moves forward, some moments can never be taken back, but they can still be remembered in the ticking of a clock, in the echo of a goodbye, in the minute that never truly ended.
The clock ticks backward, the moment stands still. Words left unspoken hang like mist on the hill. Rest now, little one, let the time sing to you, for some moments never end, they just wait to break through.
With the evening echo. In the village, where the sun dips below the horizon and the sky turns gold and violet, there is a river that runs through the fields. It is said that in the evening, when the world falls quiet, the river carries echoes. Echoes of words that were never spoken. Elio, a man with tired eyes and heavy shoulders, sits by the riverbank, his gaze fixed on the water. It has been 3 years since his wife Lena drowned in these waters. Each evening, Elio sits by the river, listening to the soft murmur of the current, waiting for the echo of her last words. The wind blows softly, the water shimmering like liquid gold. Elio closes his eyes, his hands resting on the cool, damp earth. "Lena," he whispers, his voice breaking, "are you still here?" The river flows gently, the water carrying whispers that drift through the air like falling leaves. Elio leans forward, his breath catching in his throat. "Please," he whispers, "let me hear you." The river ripples, the surface glowing as the sun sets behind the hills. And then a single, soft voice drifts up from the water, a voice Elio knows all too well. "Elio," the voice says, warm and close. "I'm sorry." Elio's eyes fill with tears as he stares at the water, his hands trembling. "Lena," he cries, his heart pounding, "where are you?" The river ripples again, the echoes growing louder. I was scared. I didn't mean to leave. I still love you. Elio sobs, his hands clutching the riverbank, his tears falling into the water. I never said goodbye, he whispers. I never said I loved you. The river calms, the water growing still, the echoes fading like mist. Elio closes his eyes, his heart heavy, his breath shaky. And then one last echo rises from the river. A single word, drifting through the air like a feather. Home, the voice says, soft and warm. I'm home. Elio opens his eyes, his tears slipping down his cheeks. The river flows on, the water dark and calm, the echoes carried away by the current. And as the last light of day fades from the sky, Elio knows that even though some words were never spoken, they can still be heard in the river song, in the wind's sigh, in the echoes of an evening that will never end.
The river flows softly, the water runs deep. Echoes of lost words drift through the sleep. Rest now, wanderer, let the river sing too. For some echoes never end, they just wait to be heard.
The midday shadow. In the village, where the sun hangs high and the air shimmers with heat, there is a moment when the shadows grow the shortest, a single fleeting moment, when they almost disappear. It is during this time that the shadows speak. Milo, a young boy with dark eyes and restless hands, stands in the center of the square. It has been 3 months since his father left for the sea and never returned. The villagers pass by, their faces tired, their shadows clinging close to their feet. Milo watches them, his heart pounding, his eyes fixed on the ground. It's almost time, he whispers, his fingers clutching the silver pendant that once belonged to his father. The sun rises higher, the heat pressing down like a heavy hand. The shadows grow shorter, their edges blurring, their forms flattening against the cobblestones. Milo takes a deep breath, his eyes closing. "Papa," he whispers, his voice breaking, "can you hear me?" The square grows silent, the air heavy, the world falling still. And then a single word drifts up from the ground, a word carried by the shadow at Milo's feet. "Omen." "Milo," the voice says, soft and hollow. "I'm here." Milo gasps, his eyes flying open. The shadow beneath him ripples, its edges flickering like the surface of a pond. "Papa!" Milo cries, falling to his knees, his hands reaching for the ground. "Where are you?" The shadow stretches, growing longer, its edges forming the outline of a man. "I'm here," the voice says again, warm and close. "I never left." Milo sobs, his tears soaking the cobblestones, his heart aching. "I didn't say goodbye," he whispers. "I didn't tell you I loved you." The shadow shivers, its edges growing fainter. "You don't have to," the voice says, its tone fading. "I always knew." The sun moves higher, the shadows shrinking further, the square growing bright. Milo closes his eyes, his hands clutching the silver pendant, his tears falling freely. When he opens them, the shadow is gone, the ground empty, the air still. Milo stands, his legs trembling, his heart heavy. But as the sun climbs and the day grows brighter, he knows that even though some shadows disappear, their whispers still linger. In the silence of midday, in the space between heartbeats, in the moments when time stands still.
The sun hangs heavy, the shadows run thin. Whispers of lost words dance like dust in the wind. Close your eyes, wonder, let the noon carry you through. For some shadows never fade, they just wait to be known.
The morning bell. In the village, where the sun rises behind the hills and the air is crisp with the scent of dew, there is a small chapel. Inside the chapel hangs a single, heavy bell, a bell that rings each morning, but only for those who have lost someone they loved. Evan stands outside the chapel, his hands stuffed into his coat pockets. It has been 2 years since his sister Mira vanished into the forest, her laughter echoing through the trees. They never found her body, they never found anything. Each morning, Evan waits outside the chapel, listening to the bell, but it has never rung for him. Today, the sky is overcast, the air thick with mist. Evan watches as the villagers pass by, each one pausing to listen as the bell rings once, twice, 3 times. A woman clutches her shawl, tears slipping down her cheeks. A boy bows his head, his lips moving in a silent prayer. A man closes his eyes, his jaw clenched, his shoulders trembling. Evan's fists clench, his heart aching. "Why don't you ring for me?" he whispers, his eyes fixed on the bell. The wind blows softly, the mist swirling around him like ghostly fingers. Evan steps forward, his breath fogging the cold air. He steps into the chapel, his eyes adjusting to the dim light. The bell hangs from the ceiling, its bronze surface worn and tarnished, its rope swinging gently as if touched by invisible hands. Evan takes a deep breath, his hands reaching for the rope. "If you can hear me," he whispers, his voice breaking. "Mira, where are you?" The bell swings back, then forward, its heavy sound echoing through the empty chapel. Dung. Evan closes his eyes, his tears slipping down his cheeks. Dung. The wind howls outside, the air growing colder. Dung. Evan sobs, his hands clutching the rope, his knees sinking to the stone floor. "Mira," he cries, his voice echoing through the empty room. "I'm here." The bell falls silent, the air growing still. Evan opens his eyes, the room empty, the chapel quiet. And then a single, soft whisper drift through the air. A voice Evan knows too well. "Van," the voice says, warm and close, "I hear you." Evan gasps, his eyes flying open, but the room is empty. The bell hangs still, the rope swaying gently, the wind carrying Mira's voice away. Evan steps back, his breath shaky, his heart pounding. And as the morning light filters through the stained glass windows, he knows that even though the bell may not have rung for him, its echo still lingers. A soft, gentle sound that carries through the air like a final goodbye. The Twilight Well. In the forest, where the trees stretch tall and the air grows cold, there is a well that glows at twilight. It is said that whoever looks into its depths will see the faces of those they lost, faces that were never seen again. Nina, a girl with wild curls and haunted eyes, stands at the edge of the well. It has been a year since her sister Leah disappeared. The last place anyone saw her was right here, by the well. The sun dips below the trees, the sky turning shades of violet and grey. The well begins to glow, its water shimmering like silver, its surface rippling like a restless dream. Nina takes a deep breath, her heart pounding. "Leah," she whispers, leaning over the edge. "Are you there?" The water swirls, the light growing brighter, and a single, soft voice drifts up from the depths. "Nina," the voice says, warm and close. "I'm here." Nina gasps, her eyes widening as the surface of the water clears. A face appears, Leah's face, her eyes wide and sad, her hair floating around her like seaweed. "Leah," Nina cries, her hands reaching for the water. "Where are you?" Leah's face shimmers, her lips moving, her voice a soft, echoing whisper. I was waiting for you, she says, but I couldn't hold on. Nina sobs, her tears falling into the well, her hands trembling. I'm so sorry, she whispers. I didn't come for you. The water ripples, Leah's face dissolving, her eyes closing, her form fading like mist. No, Nina cries, her hands clawing at the edge, her breath ragged. Leah. The well grows darker, the light dimming, the water calming. And then a single word drifts up from the depths. A word that echoes through the night like a lullaby. Home, the voice says, soft and warm. I'm home. Nina collapses to the ground, her sobs echoing through the empty forest. The well falls still, its glow fading, its water dark and silent. Nina presses her forehead to the cool earth, her tears soaking the ground. And as the last light of day slips away, she knows that even though some faces are lost, they can still be seen in the twilight's glow, in the well's reflection, in the space between what was and what could have been.
The well glows softly, the night sings its song. Faces of lost souls drift like mist all along. Close your eyes, dreamer, let the twilight carry you through. For some faces never fade, they just wait to be known. drift like stars in the snow. Rest now, dreamer. Let the midnight sing you through. For some whispers never end. They just wait to be found. The night holds its breath. The wind whispers low. Words left unspoken drift like stars in the snow. Rest now, dreamer. Let the midnight sing you through. For some whispers never end. They just wait to be found. The song drifts softly, the house sings along. Whispers of lost voices echo through the song. Close your eyes, dreamer. Let the afternoon carry you through. For some songs never end. They just wait to be The clock ticks backward, the unspoken hang like mist on the hill. Rest now, little one, let the time sing to you. For some moments never end, they just wait to break through. The clock ticks backward, the moment stands still. Words left unspoken hang like mist on the hill. Rest now, little one, let the time sing to you. For some moments never end, they just wait to break river flows softly. The water runs deep. Echoes of lost words drift through the sleep. Rest now, wanderer. Let the river sing to you. For some echoes never end, they just wait to be The sun hangs heavy, the shadows run thin, whispers of lost words dance like dust in the wind. Close your eyes, wonder, let the noon carry you through. For some shadows never